Hey Exile, PoE Academy here with a follow-up video on the Lightning Strike Poison build. I tweaked it a bit and now this new version is even faster, has a lot more damage, is cheaper, and all of this only for losing Grace. Sounds great? Yes, it does, and I have to tell you, this Pathfinder is by far the most satisfying mapper I have played in a while. As you can see in the background, Master Toxicist from the Pathfinder Ascendancy makes clearing butter smooth, as poison will spread to nearby enemies when they die. Its strong Flask setup plus Pathfinder also makes it a very tanky build with more than 100,000 EHP and 42,000 maximum hit taken. There are some downsides to be fair though. Self-chill poison and Flask must be set up carefully in order to function properly, and the build is somewhat scuffed on intelligence, strength and elemental resistances. Make sure to check out every section of this guide to understand how the different setups work, as they require multiple mechanics to work and you can brick them quite easily. And also remember that you can always check out the notes section of the POB in the description for more info. There are a couple of cheap but mandatory items for this build. To make Lightning Strike apply poison and hit, you will need a pneumatic dagger with at least 350 elemental DPS. For the self-chill setup, you will need a Golden Rule jewel to apply poison to yourself. You must protect yourself against the poison damage, which can be done by using a Watcher's Eye with the unaffected by poison while affected by malevolence modifier. If you want to become unaffected by bad build choices, you should consider subscribing to my channel for more solid builds, step-by-step guides and all types of other PoE related stuff. You will also need an Ice Fang orbit ring, which will make it so that you are chilled when you are poisoned, and by the way, it also gets rid of porcupine explosions, which is a nice side effect. Last but not least, there is the Winterweave cover ring, which reverses the effect of chill on you. That now might sound like a lot to swallow, but these items were very cheap, at least when I bought them, and you can use the trade searches in my Discord server for your convenience. Your very potent defensive setup also has to be established first. As you have spotted correctly, the build does not feature any life flask, but constantly heals itself. Why, you may ask? Well, because of the Master Surgeon Ascendancy, which recovers 6% of life when you use a flask. You can automate this by rolling your flask with the charges gained on hit prefix and by adding a used when charges reach full enchant to each and every one of them. As long as you get hit, you will get charges, and when any flask is refilled, it will be used and therefore heal you. From my testings, you want to have flasks with 5 or more charges when hit by an enemy, and at least 3 of them should have the used when reach full enchant to properly heal you up again. This covers the most important mechanics of the build. For more info on what to upgrade first, check out the notes section of the POB, and if you need help troubleshooting, you can ask any questions in my Discord server. Remember that this is not a league starter. You can level it as Elemental Spectral Helix Deadeye and transition into Poison Lightning Strike when you have your minimal setups ready. 90% of the gear from Spectral Helix can be used in this build though, so the transition is very smooth. I would also recommend swapping earliest when you have reached level 80 or so, but the later the better, as the build really shines on higher levels. My last advice to you is to craft the items for the builds yourself. It is quite easy actually, and you will save a lot of money this way. If you are interested in an in-depth crafting guide for this build, let me know in the comments. Here's an overview of what I did. All the spell suppression gear can be crafted quite easily with essences of doubt on evasion basis or by eldritch crafting unfinished items. A decent dagger and the belt can also be crafted with essences. The flasks are simply crafted with alteration orbs, and the endgame hunter body armor was crafted by using fossils. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I think I've spent roughly 10x to craft all the gear, and a big proportion of that was self-farmed with essences and eldritch nodes on the Atlas tree. I hope you learned something today, thanks for staying with me until the end, and see you in the next one.